A ceasefire proposal in the works.
Frankly, anything at this point to stop the killing.
Our DC bureau is live with the truce updates. Vandalism caught on camera.
On a general GPS monitor.
As dozens of Florida license plate readers disappear. They ride together and die together.
We paid attention to the blessing that we have.
Caplin News has more on the South Florida premiere of the new Bad Boys movie. And a successful launch to space. The moment NASA has been waiting for. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Kenneth Bueno.
And I'm Julian Davis. Today's Thursday, June 6, 2024.
Live from the Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
The United States is leading the push for peace in Gaza with a plan on the table to try and stop the fighting. Tension between Israel and Hamas continues as President Biden announced a plan to end the war.
Caplin News reporter Amelia Orjuela from our D.C. bureau joins us live from Washington. Good morning, Amelia.
Good morning. The conflict between Israel and Gaza has been going on for 8 months now, and just last Friday, President Biden announced a 3-phase ceasefire plan that he's urging Israel to accept. On the other hand, Hamas has said that this plan is not meeting these requirements, and according to an FIU expert I spoke with, this proposal has many challenges to overcome.
The 3-phase plan focuses on a 6-week ceasefire and ends with Gaza's reconstruction. FIU Professor of Politics and International Relations, Edith Love, explains the compromising points on both sides.
For Israel, it would be the idea of a permanent ceasefire. On the Hamas side, they'd have to be willing to not be the lead military or governing force in Gaza moving forward.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that President Biden presented an incomplete version of the plan and emphasized that there would be no halt to fighting during ceasefire negotiations. On the other hand, Hamas is demanding a permanent end to the war. Pro-Palestinian groups in Washington, D.C. are advocating for this, calling for a boycott of Netanyahu's invitation to join a session of Congress and urging senators to endorse the proposal.
We need a permanent ceasefire, but anything, frankly, anything at this point to stop the killing.
I'm a member of the Jewish community, but I can't stand to see Israel doing what it's doing.
Over 37,000 people has been killed, and the toll continues to increase as Israel launched an overnight strike to Gaza yesterday. The Biden administration's officials are currently on the Middle East pushing for the ceasefire proposal and the release of the remaining hostages. Reporting from Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Amelia Orjuela.
President Biden is in Normandy this morning honoring the 80-year anniversary of the historic D-Day campaign. The president said that the work done by the Allies was, in the president's words, a powerful illustration of how alliances, real alliances, make us stronger. The president also addressed ongoing war in Ukraine, calling it unending and assuring that NATO will not walk away from aiding the country.
The NYPD is conducting an investigation to revoke the gun license of former president and recently convicted felon Donald Trump this morning. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon is a federal crime, and although 2 of Trump's 3 licensed guns were turned over to the NYPD last year following his indictment on criminal charges, the third wasn't due to it being lawfully moved to Florida. After his conviction last week, it would be illegal for Trump to still possess that firearm.
A transgender high school student is recovering from injuries in what police are investigating as a potential hate crime. Caplin News reporter Gabriela Fuentes details the rally held in the students' support.
A big turnout consisting of students from Hopkins schools.
School should be safe, and to be assaulted in school is ridiculous.
A classmate is currently recovering from what Minnetonka authorities are deeming as a possible hate crime, leaving many of them frustrated and deeply upset.
I am disappointed in a state that was supposed to be a safe haven for kids like me that pride is now a fight against.
Family says 17-year-old Colback Saffron had to go to the hospital Thursday where she had surgery after her jaw broken in multiple places.
She has to hold off on eating solid foods. She there's a possibility of traumatic brain injury, so she has to be careful of how much strenuous activity she does.
Incident occurred after Sovereign used the restroom. Another student allegedly used a homophobic slur, which led to an altercation resulting in Sovereign being punched in the face. Principal Crystal Ballard of Hopkins stated in a letter to families that it is important to remember that the incident is still under active investigation and has not yet been officially deemed a hate crime. She also mentioned that even the thought of this happening can be traumatizing and assured that Hopkins Public School work to create safe spaces for LGBTQ families, staff, and students.
She's experienced glimmers of transphobia before this, just naturally, as most, if not all, trans people do, but it's never been this bad. It's never gone to the point of full-on assault, so I'm disgusted by that facet of our community for enabling this to happen.
For Caplin News, Gabriela Fuentes.
A man near Orlando was facing court this morning after police found him dismantling license plate readers recently installed on major roadways. Caplin's Jasmine Arrocha looks into how deputies found the origin of the crime after a month of investigation.
I'm not a criminal, but it's kind of interesting when something pops up that you don't know about in your neighborhood.
That's Eric Fiedler on May 2nd, discussing his opposition to the license plate readers the Seminole County Sheriff's Office installed on major roads from Oviedo to Altamont Springs. 4 days after that, deputies said they began noticing readers going offline and found them dismantled, damaged, and thrown into retention ponds. A month of investigating and 22 license plate readers later, Fiedler made a first appearance on felony charges of vandalism, theft, and burglary. Deputies said they caught him in the act.
I'm going to release Mr. Fiedler on a general GPS monitor.
During an interview, Fiedler acknowledged the cameras were put in public places where there is no expectation of privacy, but expressed his opposition to them going up without the sheriff's office telling the public, as well as the department's unwillingness to say how many cameras they installed. He showed us he had been mapping the locations of cameras, even though manufacturer Flock says only law enforcement has access to the data and it's wiped after 30 days. Fiedler told us he was afraid this was just a stepping stone.
It would be very simple to take a camera like what we have behind us and put on a radar on it.
Each camera will cost more than $4,000 to replace. There's no timeline for their replacement. For Caplin News, I'm Jasmine Arrocha.
34-year-old rapper Sean Kingston is free this morning after he bonded out of a Broward jail. Kingston was seen walking out of jail last night with his head covered and his bodyguard next to him. He was extradited from California to Florida after being arrested on fraud and theft charges. Kingston is expected in court later this month after he and his mother allegedly defrauded several businesses, including a jeweler, a bank, and a car dealership.
An employee of Fort Lauderdale International Airport is behind bars this morning after being caught stealing a passenger's luggage. Police say that the victim was able to ping the location of her bag through her Apple electronics, which they later matched to Junior Bazile, who worked at a travel retail store. Bazile has been since charged with grand theft in the 3rd degree and posted with a $30,000 bond.
A Starliner setback for NASA and Boeing this morning following its launch yesterday. A helium tank leaked after it was deemed acceptable prior to the launch. However, 2 more were found while the shuttle was flying low through Earth orbit toward the International Space Station. The impact from the leaks remains to be seen as it is still set to dock at the ISS at about midday on Thursday.
The Marlins look for revenge as they face off with their cross-state rivals for the 2nd night in a row.
Oh, that's still ahead, and so is his story.
This one was really, we paid attention to the blessing that we have to be able to make a movie together in Miami.
Miami is definitely the place to watch new Bad Boys movies, just as the film stars. Stick around, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah, our time to grind, our time to shine. Ha, ha, ha. They don't want it with us.
Miranda is on top again. Give it to Gary Sexton. Lawson Peel takes his first playoff win.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Now showing, a summer blockbuster action movie squeezed an extra day into the weekend by scheduling afternoon showtimes today. Bad Boys Ride or Die was shot right here in Miami, so it only makes sense for the stars to walk the red carpet here in the Magic City.
Caplin News reporter Daniela Zuleta was on hand for last night's screening at the Silver Spot Cinema in downtown Miami.
Silver Spot is rolling out its red carpet tonight for the Bad Boys 4 movie premiere, and many fans are excited to see the movie come to life after seeing it on social media.
I said Miami, make some noise!
Videos on social media have gone viral after the Bad Boys production was caught on site of our beautiful Miami community.
How you doing?
Great, and yourself?
We are fantastic.
What do you have to say to the people of Miami?
We love you. Sorry for the traffic when we were shooting. Yeah.
Attendees for the night look forward to many things when watching the film.
I'm super excited. I mean, it's a big movie, such an iconic movie, so I'm ready to laugh.
I think the action, I mean, the funny and the comedy and all the things, claro, va a ser super, it's just going to be hysterical. We already know that. But I think the action is going to be iconic.
See Will Smith doing something funny, you know? That's what you're waiting for when you see that guy.
This one was really, we paid attention to the blessing that we have to be able to make a movie together in Miami after 30 years. I would say the big difference is we slowed down and enjoyed this one more than any of the other ones.
The movie is in your local theaters this Thursday in downtown Miami. For Caplin News, I'm Daniela Zuleta.
And shifting to the less exciting part of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence's night, the Marlins chose to die instead of ride in the Sunshine State Derby against the Tampa Bay Rays. Most of the action occurred in the initial inning. The Rays scored 3 runs while Jesus Sanchez sunk an RBI double deep into center field in his first at-bat for the Fish, and later ran home after an Otto Lopez single. The Rays would score 2 unanswered in the top of the third and never relinquished the lead. The final score was Rays 5, Marlins 3. The Fish will look to turn around the homestand when they face the Cleveland Guardians tomorrow. Stick around, you're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America.
That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Julian Davis.
And I'm Kenneth Bueno. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.